you're going to add product since remember we back in our chapter 5 we have the marginal product, right?
Yes.
So if you keep on adding workers, the marginal product of other worker will also decrease. That is the law of diminishing marginal return, right? So since you add worker, that means that the additional worker will also add a product, correct? If they add a product, that also means they also add or they also incur additional costs. Okay? Are we good? So that is what is showing. Why is so small? That is what is showing there. Are we good?
Product.
Now, what you're seeing here is the total variable cost and marginal cost. So remember, you add product, you add worker, you add product, you incur additional cost, right? Then, of course, in making the product, you also incur variable cost. So let's just say in a coffee shop, nagdungag ka trabahante, you add a worker. So that means that it also incurs cost, right? And that worker also incurred additional product, right? That also means that worker uses the resources or the raw materials, ingredients in the business for them to come up with the product, right? So that also incurred total variable cost. What is variable cost? Which is dependent on the level of production that you have, right? So, more siya ang bunga katrabahante. This also incurred cost, right? Upar also added product, right? Which is also means na nagamit siya o ingredients, right? So, resources. Which is what? Your variable cost. Okay? Are we good?
Yes.
MP marginal product, which is additional product.
MP
produced by
marginal
one.
product.
Okay? Which you hire one as additional manpower for your production. Also means incurred a cost in the business, right? And since one is there to do the product, he needs also the raw materials or the ingredients in the business, right? Which also incurred additional cost, which is your total variable cost.
1 plus cost plus product plus resources plus variable cost.
Sige. I left my eraser. So let's just say one, nakapag si Bertaklay. So Juan, you hired Juan, he was able to produce 10 total product. The marginal product, let's say 10. Now, both of them, they were able to produce, let's say 25. So, both Bertaklay produces 3, right? Additional product. Now, remember that you hired Bertaklay. Let's just say, Juan was able to come up with 10, right? And Bertaklay was able to come up with 15. Now, we have additional cost for Bertaklay since nidungag siya sa. So, assuming the cost is 50. Okay? 50. So, nala siya additional cost. Next is that she was able to use 20, while si Juan is only able to use 15. Okay? Ingredients. Okay, since 15 iyang natungag, dagat ko siya nagamit nga variable cost. Okay? Or na-confuse mo sa mga.
Sa mo.
O sige. O sige. Kuan. Divorso. Divorso.
Just feeling the virtue.
So, Tiburcio, all of them was able to come up with 30. So, how many was produced by Tiburcio? Thirty minus 25. So, assuming 50 gapon ang marginal cost.
Marginal cost.
So, most probably, okay,
Anong 500?
nagtungod sa trabahante, you added the worker, that means that this person also incurred the cost. Diba? Now, since nagdungag ka trabahante, you added the worker, that also means na this worker should produce a product, right? Which is 5 yung na-produce ng product. Now, since he come up with 5 products, that also means he uses the resources, the ingredients that you have in the business. Okay? So that also means the variable cost incurred, like the coffee beans, the syrup, and so on and so forth. Okay? Bahala din mo. Mahurot na lang siguro ka ng pangalan nila, huwag nyo hapon. Baka na mga. Next, we have average variable cost. So, of course, if you have total variable cost,
Boy,
you
sakit
also
ang
have to
mauna.
average it. So, just like the example of your allowances, that is also how we do averaging for our variable cost. How much are we spending for the ingredients that we have in a business? So think of yourself that you are a coffee shop owner. So kung ikaw lang ang nagatrabaho sa imong coffee shop, pila imong kaya mabuhat na kape. So assuming that you can come up with 50. So how much is the ingredients that you use on coming up with the 50? Now, sunduan niyo mong sarili dili. That's the problem of the mindset of the business. Because they are not thinking na sila po dapat sunduan. You need to pay yourself because you are also a worker. Okay? So you have to pay yourself. So what pasabot, ibayaran niyo imong kaugalingon. Okay? So that is additional cost. Marginal cost.
Marginal.
You get it?
Reset.
Now, since you cannot do it every day, na ikaw lang isa sa mga business, so that you're the only one in your business, you hire another person. So this person, tutuan mo, right? Marginal cost.
Marginal cost.
So of course, kinahanglan mo buhat og kape. This person has to come up with coffee. Remember, you can come up with 50. Might be this worker this time can come up with 100 since he is more focused on the task aside from managing the business. Diba? So that means that the ingredients used in coming up with the 100 coffee, that is what? variable cost. Now, the 100 coffee, that is marginal product.
Marginal product ng coffee.
You get it? Marginal product is the additional product. Marginal cost is the salary or the wage that you pay for your worker. That is your marginal cost. Then you have variable costs, which are the ingredients that you use in a business. Okay? Very good.
Libog po.
And marginal cost is not limited to wages.
Limited
Let's
to
just
wages.
show you the examples. It can be your marginal cost with the additional flavor in your business. Additional flavor of coffee ba?
Marginal cost.
So if you're going to add additional flavor,
Marginal cost lang.
that means that you also have to come up with a product, the variable cost, and the marginal cost. Okay?
Apil na po sa BC ang renta, sir.
You have that. Diba? Diba? Laban? Laban. So,
No
yes.
choice.
Now, ito yung tinatawag na total cost.
Total cost. Ah, okay.
We just categorize the
Pinaman
cost
ang
that
sa
we
buko
have.
nila.
Is it variable? Is it fixed? Is it marginal? Is it what? But in business, you have to total all of those costs that you incurred in a business. And that is what we call total cost.
Total
Okay?
cost.
BC. TFC.
Isa may nakabaligyan, bayabas dali. Grabe na yun.
Nakakawag siya.
Naron. Wala na, mga yabas na mo ani. Anyway, so let's just say you're selling bayabas. Bayabas ha?
Unsa daw English sa bayabas? Baba.
Strawberry cake, atong pink na bayabas. So
Gam.
let's say you're selling bayabas. How much is the bayabas? What was the example before? Diba? How much did you purchase the bayabas in the market? 3 pesos, right?
Okay, 3 pesos.
So for you to do the total cost, you just have to add all of the costs or expenses that you incurred in the business.
Add all the costs.
It can be fixed cost, variable cost, or whatever cost you incur. You just have to total that
Total
one,
fixed
and that
cost.
is your total cost. Okay? It can be total fixed cost plus total variable cost. It can also be average total cost times the quantity. It can also be fixed cost plus variable cost. Okay? Now, you have to average all the costs you incurred in the business. So in a month, how much cost are you how much cost you are spending in a business in a month? Okay, how much the average tanan mo cost, the average mo?
Cover yung total cost.
Please take a picture of this because
Yun na, iniguli. Send ako sa GC.
The exam that I brought with me is very easy. It's just 30 items, but you have to multiply it to 2.
Three. So, tagayin ang may closet.
There are only 2 tables. Very easy. There are 2 tables as I mentioned, and there are questions that you have to calculate somehow to get the right answer. Yes. Everything is multiple choices, okay? So you don't have to worry if you don't know input. For sure. Okay? There are the other fixed costs. We're done with that, right? Next, let's go to labor cost. So please do not forget, if you're a business, you also have to pay yourself. Okay? It doesn't mean that if you own a business, you are not going to pay yourself after it. No, you have to pay yourself. Okay?
Pay myself.
Kaya nagtrabaho po ka. Sir, but I would just know.
Kaya nagtrabaho man.
You won't be able to know if you are really earning profit or not. Kung i-apply mo ang inyong sweldo. Okay? So, labor cost is the cost paid to employees, as well as the cost of the employee benefit and payroll taxes paid by the employer. So, of course, isa HR today, punta, lagdagan ang inyong mga panghunahuna kung HR mo, ma-assign sa payroll, ay kung ninyo i-mess up ang sweldo sa tao. Kaya dira, yun na, magkagugot. Uy, palibog lang yun. If you are a HR, please, and assign payroll, please do your job very well. And please take actions immediately with the dispute. Hindi kayo paumaan pa, basta hindi ka maumaan. That is true. Especially sa kanang mga area na delikado. Ayaw na lang yung gawas. Delikado sa mga anyway, we have what we call
Ay, napaugmaan ko, sige, nakamugma.
direct costs are those people who are engaged in the production directly.
Hindi na magmamahal.
So here in the classroom, your teachers are they have the direct costs. Now the indirect costs are the security guards, the admission, the cashier, the sound, and so on. Those are indirect costs because they are not directly involved in the generation of knowledge of the students. Okay? So it's just like this. XYZ Furniture is planning the sales price for dining room chairs. The direct labor costs are those expenses that can be directly traced to production. XYZ, for example, pays workers to run machinery that cuts wood into specific pieces for chair assembly, and those expenses are direct costs. On the other hand, XYZ has several employees who provide security for factory and warehouse. Those labor costs are indirect because the cost cannot be traced to a specific level of production. Okay? You get it? Next, we have what we call fuel cost. Why is fuel cost included? So, in the Philippines, around 50 to 60% is the machineries tools equipment used in a business is fuel by fuel. Okay? Nagpapadagan kay ang fuel. Okay? Manang fuel by fuel. So, we have to account the fuel cost of a business. Now, we also have to consider the flour and other baking ingredients because although this is not really applicable to us, but it is applicable to other places in the country. Like in Manila, they usually have their breakfast as the bread, right? Yes, they usually have pandesal as their breakfast. Anyway, we have to account that as well. So usually we have grains, of course. Next, we have total revenue. What is total revenue?
PXQ.
How to get it? That is price times quantity.
Price times quantity.
Okay, that is the total income of a business.
Price per unit times the quality.
So remember, nagdumag ka of cost, right?
Price time.
You will also expect that since you added a cost, it will give you something in return. Diba, nagdumag ka product, marginal product. That also mean naapod kay additional revenue out from what you have sold. Na maligya good ka, right? Lain sad, nagdumag ka o baligya, buot na sabot, magdumag ka o halin.
Income.
Diba? Dapat ako kay dumag na halin out from in. Dili kay nagdumag ka, wa na mo kay halin. Lugi na ganyan yung business. Okay? So marginal revenue is equivalent to price, which is true. Kay whatever the price of your product is also mean your revenue. So the higher the price, the higher your revenue. Tama ba? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Higher the price, higher the revenue.
Now the golden rule here is that your marginal revenue should be higher or equal to marginal cost. But pasabot, dapat pareha or mas taas pa ang inyong revenue kaysa sa inyong cost, sa inyong gastos sa inyong business. Okay? Again ha, marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. That's the golden rule. Now, let's try to answer these questions according to this table. What is the profit maximizing quantity? What is the total revenue at that quantity? How much is the profit? So here, at what price do we have the marginal profit maximizing quantity? At what quantity? What's the golden rule? Marginal revenue is higher than or equal to marginal cost. So marginal revenue is 15. Asa man si cost doon? So at what price? At what quantity rather? Sa kadagan hindi inuno, hindi na tama. At quantity. At what quantity? At what quantity?
Second question.
What quantity? Grabe na yun. At what quantity?
5, 4, 0.
the golden rule, marginal revenue should be equal to or higher than your marginal cost. Quantity? 4.
Ano format?
Again, your marginal revenue should be higher or equal to your marginal cost. So if you're going to look at it, asa man ang mas higher si revenue?
May 4 doon.
At quantity 4, because if you go with 5, your marginal cost is higher than your revenue. Now, if you're going to look at the profit, asa man ka mas makaginansya? Weird. Okay, guys.
Do you get?
Marginal cost.
So, trying to answer the question, what is the profit maximizing quantity? That is 4. What is the total revenue on that quantity?
20.
Total revenue? 60. How much is the profit? 20. Okay. On next.
Hello?
Malabami. 12.
Malamang mo kasi. Oh, sir.
9.
So, if you can observe, your marginal revenue is still higher than your marginal cost at 131 versus 130. Okay?
PM lang.
So, do you see profit maximization now? Of course, it's highlighted. Okay. So, in the long run, we have also long run costs. This is where the firm can choose the type of equipment, workers, and raw materials that when used can yield the least cost in the desired output. Again, this is a projection of your business, of where will your business be. So, if you do expansion, you can now decide how many workers to work, how many equipment to use, and what are those equipment. Okay? Now, we also have what we call optimal capacity utilization. This is where we measure the extent to which the productive capacity of a business is being used. So, na-exhaust ba na to ang capacity sa business in using all the resources that we have. So, the formula for that is actual level of output over the maximum possible output. So, we have a scenario here. Stephenson Audio manufactures handheld microphones. The factory in Sandbach has a maximum output of 40,000 units per month. So in January 2015, actual output was 32,000 microphones. So given the formula, we have 32,000 divided by 40,000 times 100. So that's gonna be 80%. So what was about? The company only uses 80% of their total capacity in the business. So they can still improve on using the resources or the equipment that they have in the business and so on. And once we reach 100%, that's the time that expansion is needed. Okay? Very good. Now we also have again the economies of scale, divide na po. This is again, the more you produce of the product, the lesser the cost incurred in a business. That is why again, these businesses prefer to have in bulk or to print in bulk so that it will, they can save more time, money and effort. So as time goes by, the more you produce, the more efficient you can be, and the least cost you will incur in the business. Then we also have what we call again this increasing on the return to scale. Now we have what we call now the least economies of scale. This is the other way around for our economies of scale. This is where an increase in a firm's scale of production lead to higher costs per unit produced. So what are the reasons behind these economies of scale? We have overcrowded effect, greater level of operational waste, and logistical cost of transporting goods. So the first situation of overcrowding where employees and machines get in each other's way, lowering operational efficiencies. So what is about? That's the reason why again that businesses do not or must not keep on hiring workers, because if they do, then it's going to be a problem in the business. They have to add machineries, they also have to add people. And once we work with each other, we come and stop. Kayo pa, November 1. November 1 lang ba yung holiday? So, mukha na.
To. Ito.
Let's just hope that the president will declare economic holiday so that November 2 and 3 will also be declared holiday. So again, overcrowded, that is why businesses do not keep on hiring workers, because if they do, then overcrowded effect will take in or will happen. Parehas lang muna sa here in the classroom. If we add 20 students more in this classroom, that is already
70.
crowded, right?
Crowded.
And it's not conducive for learning anymore. Next, the second is greater level of operational waste. This arises when there is a greater level of operational waste due to lack of proper coordination. So again, since with overcrowded, it's also gonna be greater level of operational waste since there will be lacking coordination. That is why in a business, communication is very important.
Business communication is very, very important.
Diba?
Especially of the
So, there are time frame that you have to follow. Mauna nga, other kaning mga truck na ako sa akin na-distress siya because na sila ginaampas nga time. If they are beyond the time, then it can cause delay in the tracking, and it can also have problems with the product that they are transporting. It can be highly perishable goods. Okay? Wala siya nga, sa high passport kung sila magpadagan, nang wala na gulay uma, diba?
Ito.
Grabe po silang padagan, no? So, din kayo nalipay sa ito na discrush ang tanduay na kuan. Hindi ka itong gear. That is the risk for tracking services. That's the risk that you have to take. So
Tracking services.
Kaso may tabo na siya, those are all those things na nasa ano, that is already paid.
Jibig.
Mo na siya nga sakit man ingoy, pero pwede ito ninyang kuwaon yun ng mga tanduay yung kuwan ba.
Itong bugas, sir?
That is part of the risk that they have to take.
Kasi ito itong mga bugas.
Pero low report ang driver, kaya of course, mabawasan ko ng service ng driver sa Luisa. Pagmara ba mong isang case, tama.
Sa kasako lang, sir. Itong bugas. Kao naman na. Barato ang bugas, mas mahal ang kuan. So,
Anyway, next is logistical cost of transporting goods. These economies happen when there is mismatch between the optimum level of output between different operations. So, there are times that you supply or you produce too much while others are not producing too much, or if you do produce too much, then the extra product might go bad. Okay? So you really have to do communication and make sure that your stock is not something that would perish easily. And calculation. Guys, this is just one or three formulas. You just have to play with the formula itself.
Are we good?
Like the total fixed cost. The total fixed cost, you can come up with the total fixed cost, or you can get the total cost by just playing with the formula. You
Total
just have
fixed
to
cost.
transpose total fixed cost for it to be added with the total variable cost. And yung
TFC,
total
total fixed cost. Total cost, TFC.
Kaya
Total variable
elaborate
cost.
lang niya ang formula. What will show up in the exam is average. One of that is average. That you have to identify which one is a fixed cost and which one is not a fixed cost. And please do not forget that we also have formula to get total product, marginal product.
Total product, general product.
That is the cost that you have in a business. Muna siya, nagli sa yun ang magnegosyo.
Ito.
Kung dili na, ginabot pasabot nga, since you're the business owner, you have all the time. No, you don't have the time. Kaya you will be spending most of your time in your business. Okay? Not unless you are, you already established your business, then that's the time that you can have your free time. Or
Establish.
not unless you already know how to do things in your business. Okay? You can start a small business and you will see and know how troubling it is. Okay? And you need to start building connections, guys. Okay? So your classmate might be your connection soon. So make friends with your classmates. Okay? That is throwback. Just like with other universities, it's not all about education that they are paying. They're also paying for connections. Like AIM. You know what's AIM? Asian Institute of Management. That is so expensive, like the tuition fee is millions. Wow. Yes. But that is not the only thing that they are paying. They are actually paying for the connections we have. Kaya usually yung mga classmates na are mga executives, mga big people. So you already have connections. And of course, most likely your professors and that are coming from other countries who are expert in the field.
Wow.
Mga na siyang ginaingon niyo, bayaran ninyo sila premium. Okay? Questions, guys? Can you please turn on the lights? Kanta lagi tayo sa kanta po mo sa guys, you might be overthinking the exam is very easy. Hindi ko kayo pag-overthink kasi marong kayo na overthinking. Girls, marong kayo overthinking.
Girls as well.
There is no project is I want to give no back.
Sasa.
Yung subject ng maganita ako.
Human
Haka
resource.
sa inyo mga
Kasi,
dati di ba ito yan?
third exam? Third exam? Third exam.
Let's check your attendance, guys. I hope that no one stands. Aside from Tagalog,
Sa ka mag-opera to sa blackboard, sir. Katong sabitan na. Sabit o ganun.
Permit.
I know, right?
So, sa t-shirt.
Oh.
Sa t-shirt, sir.
Tignan ko palit. Tignan ko siya palit.
You're so excited.
Plus points.
Plus points, sir.
Plus points, sir. Ato na lang yung pag-asa, sir.
Oo.